fear I may have made a mistake reading these books, because to say I'm addicted is to say the least of it. Oh my god, that really pissed me off. That really pissed me off. No. Oh no. Hello, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Laurie and I'm really excited because we're going to be diving into the Zodiac Academy and I'm so excited. I'm so nervous. I've heard such mixed things, but people who love this love it hard and absolutely rave about the series. And ever since I read Sins of the Zodiac, I feel like there's a hole that I need to be filled on, that needs to be filled in with all the information I'm lacking, which is in the Zodiac Academy series. If you've read Cindervale, you'll know that there is a massive scene that happens that involves characters from Zodiac Academy, and ever since then I feel like I'm missing out and I need to know the significance of that scene, because I just the way things happened, it just made it seem like if you read Zodiac Academy you'll know what that implies, and it just feels like there's a huge bit of information that I'm just missing because I haven't read Zodiac Academy. So in this reading vlog, I am going to be diving into the Zodiac Academy. Now, the way I'm doing it is I've heard many mixed things on the way you're supposed to read this series. So there are so Sins of the Zodiac is obviously taking place in Solaria, which is the world of Zodiac Academy. So the recommended reading order that I've seen people recommend the most, because there's a lot of mixed advice on how you should dive into these books, but I'm going to read it as The Awakening, Ruthless Fae, and The Reckoning, which is books 1, 2, and 3 of the Zodiac Academy. And then I'm going to dive into Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac, which is Dark Fae, Savage Fae, Vicious Fae, Broken Fae, and Warrior Fae. So that's 1 to 5. And then once I've read 1 to 5, I will then dive back in to Zodiac Academy and read the whole rest of the backlist of Zodiac Academy. And that is Shadow Princess, Cursed Fates, Fated Throne, Heartless Sky, Sorrow and Starlight, Not Broken Veil, Breathless Stars, and I think there's an 8 and there's an 8.5, and you do a tandem read on 8 and 8.5. So I'm going to do that. There are also many novellas. I'm not going to worry myself too much about the novellas. I'm just going to read the main books, including the tandem read, and then I'll go back and read the novellas. Probably I'll try and download them off Kindle onto my phone, because I don't think you can buy the book. I don't know, we'll see. And then if I really enjoy reading Zodiac Academy and Ruthless Boys, I will then dive into Age of the Vampires. I haven't heard many people talk about Age of the Vampires. I know it's set in the same world, I think. I could be wrong, to be honest. But I don't think it's as important to read it as Zodiac Academy and Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac, because they're more tied together. So we're going to do that. I have book 1. I have started book 1 and I've now ordered books 2 and 3. And yeah, I mean, I am currently on chapter 8, which is 140 pages in, and I'm enjoying it. It's fun. I think because I know the way these authors write, having read Sins of the Zodiac, I kind of know the writing I'm getting in Zodiac Academy. Obviously their writing would have gone miles better between this book and Sins of the Zodiac, because obviously it's just part of it. Your skills grow as you do something. So I'm tentative diving in. I'm not too hopeful. I'm kind of just enjoying myself. I think I'm kind of treating this as reality TV, not expecting the best television out there, but you know, I'm here for a good fun time. So yeah, following 2 sisters, they're twins, Tori and Darcy. They have just discovered that they are the heirs to the throne, and because their parents have died and because they were missing, the throne was given to 5 different people, and they currently hold the throne. But with them back, they are now they're now competing to get the throne back. The sisters aren't really that worried about having the throne. They're trying to survive. That's pretty much just their entire life, is just trying to survive. But there are 5 heirs that are the sons of obviously the current kings and queens, and they don't want their throne to be taken. So they're bullying them and trying to, I don't know what they're really trying to do. Probably trying to kill them. I don't know. But they don't want them to take the throne from them, because they've been raised their entire life to take the throne and rule. So they obviously don't want that power taken away from them. So yeah, 140 pages in. It's very, very hot in the UK right now, and I'm going to go outside and tan and continue to read. So I will give you an update when I'm somewhat more the way through this, but I will say how I'm going to have to split this vlog, because there's no way I'm going to read 14 books in one vlog. This is going to be like 4 hours long. So I think I'm going to do like 3 parts. We'll see how this works, and I'm going to split this because I have no idea. But I'm going to go dive. I'm going to go enjoy the sun, and I will give you an update when I'm furthermore through this. Okay, a couple of notes. First of all, I was having issues with the decisions of the twins, like the fact that they didn't have mental shields to be able to stop the coercion from happening, and how it wasn't a priority until much later. But I've just got to chapter 15. It's only been a fucking week. I don't know if the pacing of this just seems off. Like, it feels like we've been there longer than a week. This isn't... You can definitely see the difference between the writing of Zodiac Academy and the writing of Sins of the Zodiac. It's definitely gotten exponentially better. But I'm still enjoying it. I'm still really, really enjoying it. It's not a 5-star. It's nowhere close to being a 5-star. I am really enjoying it. It's just the pacing, like not even the pacing, the timing of everything happening is just a bit off. It makes it seem that more time has passed than it actually has. And the decision of twins, you know, you're in an unfamiliar situation, you're being bullied, you're being targeted, you're technically having death threats against you, and your immediate thing is not to like work your ass off every minute of the day as you can to get more powerful, get control of your power, find out what your order is, and build your mental walls. I mean, Tori has built her mental walls, which is really good. I don't know about Darcy. I'm guessing Darcy has as well, but it just feels like their priorities are out of whack just a tad. Darcy was with Ryan, the professor, on the Goodreads scene. So I thought I wasn't going to care. I thought I was never going to read the series. So whenever I saw art, I looked even more than spoilers. And Tori ends up with Darius. The way this is going, it seems that Caleb and Max is also in the mix. So is this a why choose situation? I don't know, I'm so confused. I'm only 207 pages in, it's really not that deep, but I am still confused. Okay, I think we finally got to the plot. It only took 185 pages, but I think this is the reason why there'll be 5 books, because of the first 185 pages it was just building up the world, building up the characters, introducing us to the FMC, but I was like really hunting around for what the plot was going to be, and I think I found it. I think that is the plot. I don't know, for it to be 9 books, I'm guessing there's more that comes up. And I guess also the plot is them going for the throne, but that didn't really seem substantial enough for there to be this many books. That was the weirdest and funniest scene I've ever read in my entire life. I just read the bonus chapter in Lauriereadz POV. I don't know. I thought there was a point to that epilogue, and I thought, oh, we're going to learn some valuable information from the point of view of the professor. No, instead we're going to learn about the But there was a potion that turned them from man to woman. Oh my god, that was so funny. Well, that is book 1 done. That was actually decent. Obviously, there were just some decisions that the FMC's made that I didn't really get on board with. I genuinely, is this like per week? Like, I don't understand the time frames of these books, because on the back of book 3 it says Hell Week has begun, and then there were certain scenes where, I mean, it must be longer than a week, but 2 weeks, 3 weeks, like, it doesn't feel like, I don't know, it just, not a whole lot happened, but then a whole lot happened, if that makes sense. They got introduced to this academy, they're learning their magic, but not that much focus is being put on their magic and on everything that's happening. I don't know. I'm very confused, but I'm going to start book 2. So I'll see you when I start book 2. I couldn't wait any longer, so I've picked up book 2. The first couple chapters I think are going to be a little bit hard to get through, because the whole aspect of them giving up, saying that the heirs are too powerful and they're not strong enough to face them, and they're kind of just giving up, even though that's not really in their nature, or at least it's not Tori's nature. It's a little bit annoying, but I also do like the scene where Tori got her little bit of revenge. But I know that obviously isn't going to happen. They're not going to return to the human world, because otherwise what's the point of these books? But it's just hearing them talk that way, instead of having like that fire burning in their soul. I thought if anything was going to kind of bring about their power and show how strong they are, because they've been told over and over again that they are so much stronger than the heirs, and that their well of power is way beyond what anyone expected. And then at the most like heartbreaking, you know, preying on their fears time of their life, none of that happens. So that was a little bit difficult to wade through, but hopefully having that happened, they'll start to like really take their power seriously and really start to focus on training their power. I'm sorry, I know I've said this before, but I really can't get past the whole timing of aspects. Like, usually when authors write books in an academia setting, in a magical academia setting especially, each book is typically year 1, year 2, year 3. That is not the case with these books. I think book 1 was like 2 weeks of them being in Zodiac Academy, which is nuts for one book to be 2 weeks. I'm really hoping that doesn't continue, because that just seems a bit crazy to me. I've never read anything like that. I like when books like this are year 1, year 2, because it just makes sense. I mean, I guess with everything that's going to happen and everything that the Twisted Sisters want to put into these books, maybe year 1 would be too big, but at least 6 months. Like, not just 2 years. Like, nothing happened in that book. Things happened, but nothing happened in that book. So, yeah, I get why it's 9 books. I guess it has to be if they're writing the way they're writing, which is crazy. It's like too many books. I like when books are just like, realistically 5 is my max. There's very rarely there is a book that I like that's more than 5 books. Throne of Glass being case in point, that's like the one rare book, I think. Or maybe the Plated Prisoner series. Even the Plated Prisoner series I thought was a bit too long and didn't have to be that long. But those are like rare exceptions. Usually 5 books is like a good maximum. 9 books is insane. Is actually insane. It's still the same day. I'm 256 pages into Ruthless Fae, book 2. I fear I may have made a mistake reading these books, because to say I'm addicted is to say the least of it. I'm gonna fly through these a lot faster than I thought I really should go to bed. I should. I've stopped reading, so I'm just so desperate to know what their orders are going to be, and I'm really desperate to see them grow their power. Okay, I'm going to sleep. I'm gonna stop. I have to stop, because otherwise I fear that I'm not going to stop. I will give you an update. I'm going to continue reading tomorrow. $388 pages into Ruthless Fae. It's the next day. I am so addicted, it's not even a joke. I have indeed ordered the first 2 books in Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac, but if it's anything like this, then I think I should have just ordered the entire series. We're gonna see where we go, because I've heard like a lot of people, when they've read it the order that I'm reading it, they struggled to get through Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac because they were just so eager to get back to Zodiac Academy, but then they ended up regretting not finishing Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac because they didn't get the significance of certain events that happened because of those characters were in that, I think it's the 4th book and the 5th book. So I am going to read Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac, and I'm going to read the entire thing. But I still have the 3rd book of this and then the first 2 books of that, so I think we'll see how long it takes me to get through those. Honestly, with the way I'm going, I'm gonna finish book 2 today because I fear that's the way we're going, and then I'll pick up book 3 tomorrow, and I'm sure I'll read a huge chunk of it tomorrow. But I'm not gonna start it today after finishing this because I need to go to bed early. I can't do another late night. So yeah, this is going well so far. I mean, again, not a lot of plot progression, which again, it makes sense why there's 9 books in the series, because if every book is just about, I mean, these books were basically following the twins on their daily lives. We do have more POVs in this book. We've had Caleb, we've had Seth, which are interesting POVs to be in their mind of. It's not what I was expecting when I was in mindset. Caleb was, Seth wasn't. I was expecting, I don't know, something different from Seth's POV, but it just feels like we're kind of in their life, watching them go through their schooling and learning their magic, with little tiny hints that, you know, the plot is still there. It's not prominent and it's not center stage, but it is there and things are happening. It's just a bit of a repetition of what's happened in previous books. I don't know when the plot is going to really progress and when we're really going to concentrate on the plot. I have a feeling it's when the FMCs learn their power. I mean, they're definitely starting to get a bit more powerful. Still not a whole lot of defense happening. I would have thought they would learn defensive magic as well, especially just defensive fighting, because they can't fight at the moment. So yeah, honestly, thinking back at it, not a whole lot is happening. Not a whole lot is happening. They're basically just bent on revenge right now, and that's it. That's all we're literally just reading. Not a whole lot of anything else. So yeah, I feel like there are a lot of mysteries happening. I think there's the plot, and there's also another aspect that's happening and forming. It's just very, very slow. So we're just a bit like, is this something? Is it not? I don't know. Yeah, I get why it's 9 books. I'm 581 pages into Ruthless Fae. Please help me with the fucking stupidity of the scene I just read, okay? Because I'm actually fuming, and I'm fuming. So we're having this scene where the twins are battling the heirs because they made a joke about them claiming back their birthright and taking their throne back. A joke. But when they joined hands and their immense well of power appeared, they were like, why shouldn't we take our power, our throne back? It is our birthright, blah, blah, blah. Tell me why you felt that power, felt how strong you were, managed to throw all 4 heirs out of your way like they were pesky flies, then decided to disconnect your hands and fight them individually, even though you do not have control of your powers yet. And now You are buried in a pit trying to get out, and you don't have the forethought to be like, oh wait, we have this massive well of power that we share when we hold hands. Let's use that to fight our way out. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, that's purposely been ignored and purposely not happened to continue this scene, and it's fucking pissing me off. Because they could have easily beaten the heirs and got themselves out of the pit, but I guess that's just too easy. Then don't have them fucking join hands, okay? Don't have that even happen if you think it's going to be too easy for the scene and you want them to... Oh my god, that really pissed me off. That really pissed me off. Like, I was hate reading that scene, because I was like, what do you mean you're struggling to defend yourselves individually and don't have the forethought to be like, oh, actually, let's join hands again. Now they finally... Oh my god. I'm so angry. This book is getting to me. I'm so like in this book and with these characters that when they make stupid decisions, it just really gets to me. Now they finally realized, oh, our magic was stronger together. Now it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. You know about it, but you just... Oh my god. This really annoys me. This really annoys me. I'm really hoping this doesn't ruin the book for me, but that really annoyed me. And Darcy was kissing Lance and felt her power replenish. Do you think she thought, why did my power replenish at that moment? Or maybe that's completely separate, because I really do suspect that they're Elysian mates. So that maybe that's why her power replenished or grew. I don't know. Maybe I'm drawing conclusions where it's not actually relevant, but that did happen. You know what? I have no words for what I just read. It's so addictive. I don't know what it is, but somehow it's so addictive. Nothing is happening, which is crazy. Nothing is happening, but I cannot look away and I cannot stop reading it. And you best believe I'm about to pick up book 3. I'm really praying though. I think there will come a point where I will be bored if it continues the way it continues. I'm really hoping that book 3 will have more discovery of power, more training, more plot development, more mysteries start to unveil themselves, because yeah, this will get boring at a time. 9 books of this would be absolutely insane, and I definitely wouldn't be able to do it. But the first 2 books, it gets us into the minds of the characters. We're understanding the heirs better. It's very funny. But I did like that last scene. The last scene where all the nymphs came out and they were battling the nymphs, and the heirs were the twins were discovering their power and how they've got this new kind of fire that's somehow able to destroy nymphs and no one knows what it is. I really enjoyed that scene. Like, that scene made it worth it reading this book. Not that I would have read it anyway, because I would have, because I really enjoy it, but just that scene, it really did bring the book together, and it kind of advanced something further along. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to sleep and I will pick up book 3 tomorrow. This reading vlog is chaotic. It really is. I had no idea what I was in for. Something really bad is going to happen, or something really good. I have no idea. I'm 374 pages in. I don't know. This scene could go either way. I have no idea. I'm supposed to go to sleep. I really am supposed to be going to sleep. But I'm just reading. I'm going through these books way too quickly. I do have the first 2 books in The Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac. I'm going to finish the first book. If I like it, then I'll buy the entire series, because buying it bit by bit is just clearly not working for me. don't know if this is like the White Shoes story, because I mean it seems like Caleb and her have really good chemistry, but I know Darius is her mate, even though he's being an utter dickwad. He obviously has some sort of redemption. But like, but then does Darcy have the same thing? She has Lance, and I hope it's not Seth. I'm not a fan of Seth. I had the strongest suspicion that Lionel was going to use the twins, and I was right. I don't know if it was like his original plan, but I just had a feeling that's where we were going to end up to, and then Order is like on the brink of coming out. I'm stressed, and there's like not even that many pages, and if this ends on a massive cliffhanger, I don't know what I'm going to do, because how the hell am I supposed to stop this, go into the next series, the Ruthless Boys of Zodiac, and then have to wait 5 books to then come back to this? Like, I genuinely think I might lose my mind, but I know I have to. I don't even have the 4th book to dive into, and I'm so happy that I didn't buy the next book from the Zodiac Academy, because I would have succumbed to temptation. I would have lost the fight, and I'm so happy because I have the first 2 books in the Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac, so I have no choice but to dive into that next. This is hard. They're phoenixes. Oh shit. No. Oh no. Things are actually finally starting to get good. Like, things are actually happening now. Like, we're not just reading their life and their like day to day. Things are happening. They are phoenixes. I'm guessing I'm reading Dark Fae now, because I want to hurry up and read these. Like, Aurora Academy. There's Zodiac Academy, Starlight Academy, and Aurora Academy. I'm 130 pages into Dark Fae, and we're getting flashbacks from her brother when he was still alive. I think it's to kind of amp up the mystery, which I'm really enjoying. I'm enjoying this first book way more than I did Zodiac Academy, because so much more is happening. Now, one of Gareth's flashback is him accidentally running into Gabrielle, which is the harpy, and he saw his atlas and it says payments received this month, Falling Star. Now, from Zodiac Academy, Falling Star was the professor that was trying to help the twins and is leaving notes for them to help them unravel the mystery. Well, to help them learn things, I guess, to protect themselves, although he's not doing a very good job of it. But he ends up dying. He's receiving payments from Falling Star, which was what the professor used to contact the twins. So it must mean, because Gabriel can see visions, and I'm guessing maybe Gabriel was giving his visions to Falling Star, which is why he was receiving payments, or something else entirely. But maybe he was feeding his visions to Falling Star, and that's how he knew he was gonna die. And maybe Gabriel is the one who ends up playing a part in the plot of Zodiac Academy. I could be so totally false with this theory, but it just feels like these books are very predictable. Maybe. I could be totally off base though. Okay, I'm 160 pages in. I'm telling you, there's gonna be a lot more updates for this book than there ever was for Zodiac Academy. But we've just figured out that Gabrielle, who's the harpy who can see visions of whatever the stars feed him, just like they do in Sins of the Zodiac in Neverkeep, when we're introduced to the
oracles. Is it oracles? Something. Anyway, he's very similar to that. He gets fed visions. It's not at his will. It's always whenever they want. Well, he's mates with fucking Elise. Didn't see that coming this soon on. Like, we're literally 160 pages into the first book and so much shit has happened. But they're mates. He wants to destroy the bond. He doesn't want to be mates with her because no one is allowed to get close to him, otherwise they die or they disappear or whatever. But he's been getting money from Falling Star because he has been hidden from... The Falling Star wants him hidden. So basically the professor wants him hidden from, I'm guessing, the council. I don't really know what the motivation behind that is, but they want him to be kept hidden. He doesn't want anyone to know about his existence, and so he sends money to his adopted family and him to help him survive, I guess. But he has to be kept hidden. I'm guessing, I'm not sure why, but he doesn't know who his parents are, who his real parents are. I'm trying to rack my brain as to who they could be, but I don't know. Okay. Update. I'm 384 pages into Dark Fae, and I have to say from the get-go, I did enjoy this. I did enjoy this more than the first book in the Zodiac Academy, just because there are a lot more stakes and we've kind of got the plot from the get-go. We understand that, you know, we know who... There are like 4 kings of the school, and they're the ones that she's currently hunting to find out who killed her brother. And so she's on like basically a suicide quest. She wants to find out who killed her brother, and then she wants to kill them, and she doesn't really care if her life is taken in the name of her vengeance, but she is kind of like, if I survive this, then I want to have a better life for myself like my brother planned. And I just like how this book is kind of written. We're getting the flashbacks of her brother. We're learning pieces of information from her brother's POV of the past that the FMC is not knowledgeable of. And so we keep... but the funny thing is that the twisters will add in like a little nugget of information and be like, this is like a little clue. But then we'll give another nugget of information on a different character and we'll be like, well, who is it? Because clearly they've both got something had happened with both of them, so who is it? And I really enjoy this, although I am wondering how this plot is supposed to span 5 books. It must be that another plot comes up at some point, because I just can't figure out how it would span 4 books. Although, like, 5 books, I am slightly getting bored. Not bored, but like I'm kind of wanting to get to the point a little bit, and this is only the first book, so I don't know what that is. I don't know why I'm kind of pushing for us to get to that point already when it's just the first book. And I don't know if it's because I'm really looking forward to diving into book 4, and so I want to get through these books as quickly as possible, but I am at the same time enjoying these characters and their interactions. It's very funny, and I like the feistiness of this FMC. She knows her place. She knows she's not as powerful as the kings, but she's not afraid to like throw down with it and, you know, defend herself in a way. And I think that's definitely to do with her, you know, lack of survival skills. She's definitely a lot more reckless than her brother, and you can see that he already knew that she was more reckless, but losing her brother is kind of like the final pin being pulled on her recklessness. I do have a couple theories. I mean, I do think that another plot will show itself with Gabriel, because clearly there is something going on with him. That's a mystery that he's kind of wrapped in on, but it hasn't really shown itself to be a plot. It's kind of like, this is who he is and this is what he's got going on, but doesn't look like it's really impacting the other characters just yet. That might change. But I'm really enjoying, you know, the tension and the angst between all these characters and their like flirtiness, banter kind of thing. I'm gonna dive in. I think books 3, 4, and 5 are coming tomorrow in the Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac, and then yeah, we'll go from there. But these books are just so much fun. They're so bingeable. Oh, I also have a theory. So we know Gabrielle is Elise's mate, but the other 3 seem to have a really strong connection to her. And I don't know if in this world you can have more than one mate. But I do think that they've kind of felt their attraction from the get-go. And they've been very enticed by her from the get-go. So I'm wondering if they're also mates. I don't know. I don't know if that's even possible. I just finished Dark Fae. A lot happened in the end of that, more than I was expecting. Definitely it's starting to see the plot come forward more, and it's definitely intertwined with the original plot, which is her searching for her brother's killer. Now, she's confronted one of the kings, but he had a mask on. He had a hood on. They tried to, I'm guessing, steal her magic. It's obviously not Gabrielle because he rescued her, and I don't think he could have been in 2 places at once. It's definitely not Gabrielle. Leo was suspiciously missing when she was fighting Cindy. For a little while, I had the most outrageous theory that Cindy was behind her brother's death and that there's something just off about her. I don't know, but I could be wrong in linking her to the death. It could be that there's something else about her. But I definitely don't think it's any of the kings. I think it's like someone else who's posing as a king. Like even Ryder's second in command, he's clearly pushing up against Ryder's power and questioning things when he clearly hadn't been before. So pushing boundaries. There's a lot of characters that could be the killer. It could even be that Harvey, but I think that's a bit too far-fetched. I don't know. It's on to book 2. I'm really curious as to what happens in these books that ties them to Zodiac Academy, because it's clear that Aurora Academy is one of the lowest ranking academies. So I'm wondering. I can't believe how many books I have by these authors now. Anyway, what time is it? It's 9 o'clock. I have an hour before I realistically really do want to go to bed. So I might read this for 30 minutes. We'll see if I actually stick to that. And then I'll go sleep. "92 pages into Savage Fae, and Gabriel just bumped into the woman that Ryder is hunting and wanting to kill after what she did to him. I think her name was Melinda, but it's definitely her because he bumped into her and the stars were pointing him to her path, and she's got a scarred face, and I'm guessing that's what Ryder did to her after he escaped, or whatever he did when she was torturing him. And so I wonder what that means. I wonder why fate had them cross paths. Okay, I didn't even think about the fact that like where this could be in the timeline of Solaria, and I think this takes place in the past, before the events of Zodiac Academy, because we've got the flashback from Gareth, and he says, "I'd love to see their air sentry Lance Orion on his arse." So that means this is before he became a teacher, which means when they appear in Zodiac Academy, they're going to be a lot older than this. I didn't know that. I kind of just thought, for some reason I thought that they were just on the same timeline and they happened at the exact same time. And I kept waiting for them to mention the fact that the twins had been found and how they changed everything, but no, this happens way before the events of the Zodiac Academy, when Lance was still a player of Pitbull. So I guess that answers that. It's very interesting. Now I'm even more curious.
to find out what kind of role they play in Zodiac Academy. Because they'll have to be at least like, what, 5 years older? At least, like at minimum. Because he becomes a teacher, I'm guessing, right after he leaves Zodiac Academy because of what happened. And then becomes the captain. And when you're obviously, as a teacher, you can't become a player. So, yeah. Crazy. I'm on the 3rd book, and I know that these books are slower paced. I mean, I saw it with Sins of the Zodiac. Like, these books, the plot just stretches on a little bit too much. But I mean, 5 books of this plot is a bit insane. I don't know what the plot is for Zodiac Academy. I assume for 9 books there is a second plot that turns up. But there is just one single plot. And I'm on the 3rd book and I'm like, what, 34, 35, 40% of the way through this? It's a bit slow. It's happening over a longer period of time, but the plot itself, the pace of it is still very, very slow, and I'm struggling just a tad. I'm enjoying myself, I am, but it's just like a bit like, there are just random scenes that have no, I think I just need to get over the fact that this is not a traditional fantasy book. There is no real plot development that happens at the normal pace. Like, this is just very much you're following these characters, it's character driven, and the plot is just very much secondary to that. But I'm really excited to see Lance. So this happens, I should have read the back, but this happens 5 years before the events of Zodiac Academy. So Lance Orion is still a student in Zodiac Academy, but it's nice to have the outlook of Zodiac Academy from Fae that aren't in Zodiac Academy, that are in a whole different city than Zodiac Academy, and that aren't super rich and super powerful. Right now, the Zodiac Academy has requested their top 5 students to attend Zodiac Academy in order to swap. I do wonder what the reason behind that is. I think it's either because they really, really want Dante to go before Lionel, because he's a dragon, so they want him to like swear to the dragon laws, and I'm guessing Lionel wants to have some sort of control over him, and he's so far refused to do that. So I'm wondering if this is like their way of getting that to happen, but I'm not convinced by that idea, to be quite honest. Lance just hit on Elise. So Gabriel has had visions of Lance doing dark magic. I mean, little do they know that he's actually learning dark magic to help Darius to overcome his father, and has nothing to do with them. But I am living for the interaction of seeing a younger Lance. I mean, him hitting on Elise, I'm like, calm down, mate. What will make come in like 5 years? But oh my god. I can't deal. This is so funny. The scene of Leon going onto the stadium and rolling around butt-ass naked. Funniest shit I've ever read in my entire life. I just finished Vicious Fae, and what the fuck was that? Like, genuinely, do you know what? That was so, I can't even wrap my head around what I just read. I reckon they're all her mates, and she's going to have a divine moment with all of them, but I could never have suspected it would have been Leon. I mean, it makes sense. It does make sense. But after everything that happened, and then that, the craziest endings. Like, they're definitely known for the craziest plot twisted endings. All the action always happens at the end of their books. I guess it's to keep you enticed to actually pick up the next book, which makes sense, because I'm definitely now enticed to pick up the 4th book. but I'm flying through these so quickly. I literally started this today and I finished this today. I don't really know how well this reading vlog went. I guess I'll find out when I start editing, but I have finished books 2 and 3 of Zodiac. Nope. I finished books 2 and 3 of Ruthless Boys. I videoed as much as I could, but I was away for the weekend, so you didn't really get to see me wrap up book 2 and dive into book 3. But it was a crazy time. I don't feel like that much happened in these books. I'm going to wrap up this part 1 vlog right now and then dive into part 2. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was entertaining and fun. But yeah, you can find me on all socials as Lauriereadz. I am especially active on TikTok. Got a lot of Zodiac Academy content on TikTok going on right now. Yeah, I guess I'll see you in part 2. I hope you enjoyed. Bye.